My love, let's have a conversation. Sex, money, love. What do you want to talk about?
I think today I would like to talk about money.
Okay.
So, can you tell me a little bit more about this whole general idea of crypto and why so many people are obsessing about it or being afraid of it?
hmm Great question. I'll start with the overarching aspect. Crypto, most of it is totally air. It's nothing. There's no tangible asset. There's nothing valuable. There's nothing that's created. You are buying and investing and owning air. But the reality is, people pay for air. If your tire is flat, you need to fill up your tire, you're going to pay money for air. That's what you're doing when you're buying crypto. When people talk about the blockchain, a lot of people will discuss how revolutionary it is and how incredible it is and how it's going to pave the way for so much amazing creation. But now we're coming up on well over 10 years of very established crypto markets, crypto trading and blockchains. And there have been zero solutions. Nothing has been fixed. Nothing has been solved. Nothing is better, faster, quicker, or more efficient than it was 10 years ago, thanks to the blockchain. Now, crypto stands for cryptography. So the antithesis of what crypto is built on is the blockchain. And the blockchain is specifically a technology that helps encryption and helps things become very, very safe and tangible and legible. And that is a use case. But again, no one is using it right now to make commerce better or to make supply chains more efficient or to make real estate transactions happen better. It has not even gotten close to a large adoption where people are actually noticing their life becoming better because of crypto. Now, most money is perception anyway. You are only going to pay for what you feel something is worth, what the value actually is. And there are four cryptos that I do like to trade. There's only one real, what I would refer to as a cryptocurrency, and that is Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the original, it's the OG, it's the gangster, the granddaddy, right? It is the one, followed by Ethereum, then Solana, and Litecoin. Now, Bitcoin, I'm comfortable with myself and you and our family owning and having and holding Bitcoin for long periods of time. Let's call it forever, right? I'm game with that. I'm perfectly okay to continue buying it. I personally believe that it not only is it a mathematical asset that's going to appreciate in value over time, but it will be here for a very, very long time. Now, Bitcoin maximalists are individuals that believe that Bitcoin is only going to exist and increase in value because the US dollar is going to collapse. And those people are just incorrect. They're just wrong. And that's okay. The US dollar isn't going anywhere ever. In my lifetime, your lifetime, our kids' lifetime, our kids' lifetime, the worst case for the US dollar is that we become second or third in the world as far as a world reserve currency. That's the worst case. Now, people can argue with me, and that's fine. I want people to argue with me, but they just simply don't study history. They don't understand how big we are. They don't understand that most people are stating that the United States is at the beginning of the end. My perception, my belief, and my historical awareness and monetary awareness, the United States of America is at the end of the beginning. We're just getting started. And it's going to be an absolutely incredible country, an incredible opportunity. There's going to be so much production and value that the country of the United States of America will create and build over the next 20 to 50 years. It's going to be otherworldly. So a Bitcoin maximalist would say that Bitcoin's the only currency, it's the only value, it's the only thing that's real, buy as much of it as you can, and only use Bitcoin. 98.9% of people who trade Bitcoin, they're trading it because as Bitcoin goes up in value, they are going to exchange that Bitcoin for more
Dollars.
more US dollars, Canadian dollars, Australian dollars, Chinese yuan, right? People are buying it so that their native underlying currency becomes more valuable. Not everybody, because there's a lot of communist countries that will buy Bitcoin because their currency sucks, right? Cuba, Venezuela, Russia, China. There's a lot of other ones where the central government can just totally wipe away all the value overnight because of a policy change. And I understand that fully. So Bitcoin's amazing. The other ones, they're very, very fun to trade. So again, you're simply interacting with patterns, you're interacting with the markets. And I think the reason that people, to your answer and to your question, the reason that people are so enthralled and excited by it is because it's very, very inexpensive. It has a lot of explosive opportunity, has a lot of explosive growth, and it has huge, huge overnight, over week, over month, over year growth opportunities. The a 20 to 30% move in a month isn't uncommon at all. In fact, it happens every single month in 99.9% of cryptocurrencies. It is a situation where you can put in 100,000 US dollars, and the ability to take that and quadruple it in the course of a year, if you know what you're doing, is actually doable, like very doable. But there's gonna be a lot of volatility, a lot of ups and downs. You need to study it. You need to have your finger on the pulse, because there's gonna be plenty of days where it can go down 45%. So ultimately, to me, I think you should learn how to trade it. I think people should learn how to interact with it. I hope if you're watching this video, at some point you're going to ask me about Ripple. Ripple is absolute garbage. I've been saying that since it was created. It undermines everything about what a crypto is supposed to be. And there's only one thesis behind Ripple. There's only one, that it's the central banking intermediary for liquidity. That's the only thing. And so my thing is, wait a minute. So you're letting me hear you say that the largest, most profitable, most monetarily zealous industry on earth is going to rely on a third party to build the liquidity intermediary for banking, and that it's going to become more valuable than MasterCard or Visa or JP Morgan Chase. So when I hear people have these discussions, I'm very, very aware that they're just unaware of math. They don't understand the size and the scope of the actual monetary policy on this earth. And Ripple is just an absolute garbage instrument. And it will never be superior to Bitcoin or most other cryptos. Will it move actively? Yeah, of course. Can you make a 20% return on over the course of a month and grow your US dollars? Absolutely. And if you want to trade it that way, go for it. But it's never going to go to 100. It's never going to outperform Bitcoin over a long period of time. And I think it's just a totally irrelevant asset, like 99.9999% of every other cryptocurrency. Now, if you want to call them a crypto trading instrument, I think that's fine, but they're not currencies. No one's using them as currency. There's no value in it as a currency. It's not actually a currency by the definition of utilization. So that's my general take on cryptocurrencies. Now, I have a question for you.
Wow. Yes.
Why, talking about money, why do I notice that so many women struggle with confidence around money specifically?
Such a good question. And I believe women struggle with confidence in many areas of life, in relationships, in value, in wars, and money is one of them. And it is really interesting when we look at the history of the world, history of the womanhood, and realize that women have not had an opportunity to have wealth and to hold money for such a long time. Yes, there has been time where women were in charge of a lot of money. They were the matriarchs. They had the wealth, gold, right? At that time, gold, silver, and everything else. And then it was taken away. It was lost. It was destroyed. And women became properties. They got silenced. They didn't have voice. And so over the last 100 years, I feel like women done such an impeccable job to come out, to learn, to embrace their voices, to find their confidence, to learn money, to learn wealth. And now seeing women rising so fast in businesses, in different opportunities, in trading, even some of your most amazing traders that are female. So I do feel like we, as a women, still have a little bit, it's definitely a lot more work for a woman to hold wealth. The nervous system is just not as easily programmed as it is for men. The ancestral history hasn't been there for a very long time. But at the same time, women are really showing up for themselves. They are leaning into the healing. They are removing all of the different energies that need to be removed in order to hold wealth, in order to hold money. And it is happening with such a speed. And I feel like women right now, especially of this generation, we are just coding the whole new earth of the feminine wealth. And our daughters will have a lot of that energy and knowing in their bodies and in their blood, and it's going just to be so easy. And we already know that it is shifting. A lot more women now are making money. A lot more women are providing for themselves and providing for their families. And it's in my world, it is so beautiful to see how that came to exist. But I also know for every sister, this has been a big, big journey of the inner self, um, embracing yourself, coming into wars, undoing so much trauma around it, her trauma, but also the generational trauma, and reclaiming herself fully. And I do not believe that any woman can really hold herself as a queen if she doesn't really understand the money energies, money codes, wealth, finances, and really educates herself on that. But I also so delighted to see how many women are saying, I'm choosing myself. It is going to be me. Let's go. Let's lean into it and figure this thing out, figure this money thing out.
What was the best book or course or program that you took to learn? You said the word finances, investing, money, and wealth. And when did that journey begin for you?
It is so interesting, Jeremy, because I do not
I love when you say my name. It's insane. Oh my God.
I do not remember one specific program that just shifted all of it for me, but I know there has been so many moments in my life, but I think the best decision that I made for myself was I want to know money. I want to feel comfortable with money. I want to study money. I want to understand them, and I want to have a lot of money and a lot of wealth in my life. I don't want to be a peasant girl. I want to be a queen, and I want to figure out what that looks like and what it feels like. But I also came from a world where I did not have an opportunity. So, and I learned very early on how to work. And I remember just like counting our money called tinge and just like being with it, right? Touching it, saving for something, buying something, saving to be able to come to America. Coming to America was a big dream and $300. And at that time, I never had a bank account. I never had a debit card. I was 19, yes, I was 20 years old. And I had to learn the very, very basics that America just, and American people just almost everyone grew up with. And it was such a different system. But I embraced it. I wanted to learn it. I recognized the opportunity. I recognized the freedom that comes with that opportunity. And it was a fun journey to learn about it. But I will tell you that when I did learn stock market and options trading, that gave me so much power. Yeah, it gave me so much confidence. It made me feel like I have a skill set that no matter what happens in my life, I can make money and I can provide for my family. And so having that confidence was so like soul shifting and life changing for me. And it is not like I trade all the time. I'm on an investing side, as you know. I like longer term investments. I'm not energized by the markets as you energized, but just knowing and having the intelligence of how this system works is very, very empowering.
Yeah. I mean, I think to use that word knowing, many people have heard about something
Mhm.
and they are aware that it exists, but very, very frequently do they go into learn the depth of it. Example, I think tons of people understand rental properties, right? Buy a house, rent it out, make money. That's an awareness, right? The knowing is all the different type of real estate that exists, all the different type of investment properties, all the different types of ways to obtain a rental house. I mean, there's probably 27 different loans that you could have
So
just
true.
to secure a rental, right? I mean, just to name a couple. Or you could do FHA. It could be an investment house. It could be a second home. Different down payment between an investment house and a second home.
Yep.
All right. You could do a subject to loan. You could do owner financing. You could buy it in cash. You could do a short sale. You could do an auction. You could do a tax lien. I mean, there's so many different ways to obtain, investment property. That's knowing. Being aware of something is just knowing that it exists. Having a knowing of it is being extremely intimate with it over a period of time, which is probably one of my favorite things you've ever said, not about money. I forget the exact moment that you said it. I think it was on the island, and we were at a conference or presentation or seminar, and you looked at me and you said, that person knows God. And I was like, what do you mean? I think it was Billy Alsbrooks. And you said, well, there's people that know of God,
Mhm.
and then there's people that know God. I was like, oh, that's heavy and good and delightful. So there's a big distinguished difference there.
It is, absolutely. And there are people, a lot of people know of money, and there are very few people that know money. And it is like with anything else, in order to know it, you want to sit with it, you want it to be with it, you want to study it, you want to be intimate with that, you want to learn how not to be afraid of it. You want to learn how to love it, how to appreciate it, how to respect it, how to see it for this most beautiful, amazing tool that is given for joy and evolution and creation and upliftment of the world. And that's really what money is when you spend time with it and you really start studying it a lot more positively, a lot more intimately.
What would you say to someone who says to you that loving money is evil?
I saw that this quote on the I don't even know on some kind of platform years ago, and it really spoke to me. And it was a conversation between the person and a God, and the person asked like, God, is money and sex sin? Like, is it sin? Is it evil? And he's like, why are you all humans so stuck on money and sex? Everything without love is evil. And so, whatever we do, whatever conversations we have, any intention that we have behind, if there is no love be underneath it, behind it, around it, it is not good. Yes, it is evil. But when we bring love, when we bring intention of wholeness, intention of healing, intention of bringing light into the world with those tools, with those modalities, it turns into the highest expression of love. And so when people say money is evil, money is nothing. It is the energy that is behind this sacred tool. And throughout the history, the most incredible, beautiful, sacred things being used for evil things. Like Bible being misquoted and was used so many times to get its way. So is every other religion. Right? Again, when the humanity, when the human and human's ego comes into anything pure, it becomes evil. And so the truth is holding the intention of your pure heart, of your love, of your wholeness in anything that we do. And then it becomes love. And so money with love amplifies love, brings love into the world, brings healing in so much more powerful way. And I believe especially the healers, awakened people, people with a higher consciousness, those are the people that really need to learn money codes, how to love money, how to be with money, and how to spread money around the world, because they are the ones that will heal the world with a lot of money.
And with that, we will wrap up another edition of Love, Sex, and Money. Thanks so much for tuning in. Love you so much, my queen.